tuning in to You Have Time to Support a Small Business. I am your host and creator, BP Harris, and I'm sitting here. I told you season 2, we're going to have some really lit entrepreneurs. So I'm sitting here with an amazing one. We got a new industry. Can y'all guess what it is? It's desserts. Her desserts are lit. If you know me, you know I'm not a big dessert person. So for me to say that somebody's desserts are lit, this is an interview worth listening to. So I'm going to let her introduce herself.
I'm honored. Hi, everybody. My name is Yolanda, and I am the owner, pastry chef, and founder of Miss Landa Cakes. And I create Southern dishes, Southern desserts, and I reformulate them to fit what we need from them in modern times. A lot of people are trying to eat a little bit healthier. And as far as I'm concerned, there really is no such thing as a healthy dessert unless you just want to eat fruit. If you are a lover of Southern desserts, because, there's full fat, there's real sugar, there's whole milk, and there's lard in some cases, which I do stay away from. But I am a lover of desserts. My sweet tooth is the size of my head, and I'm a devil's advocate for desserts for people who think, for whatever reason, that they can't have desserts. So I educate your sweet tooth by teaching you how to responsibly have desserts without feeling deprived or overindulged.
Yes, and she got you. I'm trying to tell you, just wait. You about to find out. Hopefully she give us that recipe, for the sweet potato pie. Let's see if we can get it today. But thank you for telling us. You definitely told us about your business. But how long have you been in business?
I have been in business formally since 2019, but I've actually been baking. I think the first time I made biscuits from scratch, I was about 10. And then it escalated into making batches upon batches upon batches of cookies with my sister in the middle of the night because we couldn't sleep. And it kind of formulated an idea for me to start a business when our younger brother, whose bedroom was right off the kitchen, one morning got up and took all of the cookies to school in one of those ice cream buckets. And we were irked to the nth degree until he came back home with that bucket full of dollars and quarters. So we're like, oh, we can sell the cookies. So it kind of snowballed from there.
Nice. So with your experience, because clearly you have years of experience just starting it off as a hobby and now going into a business, what makes you stand out?
I think the thing that makes me stand out the most is my attention to not only the customer, but the individual customer. If you are ordering something for yourself, it kind of turns into a little bit of an interview. What are your favorite colors? Do you like flowers? What is so special about the day that you're celebrating? And I kind of try to translate that into an image or a graphic that I can put on the cake. I recently had a client who lives in Florida, but her best friend was coming here to celebrate her birthday, and she liked carrot cake. So instead of me making her the carrot cake with the cream cheese and the nuts around the edges, I made her my family's carrot cake recipe and decorated the outside of it to look like a basket with carrots in it with her name on it because they're farmers. And she mentioned that she has this favorite wine and she likes really upscale, classy things, and she's celebrating a milestone birthday. So in addition to the cake, which was paid for by the client as a gift for her celebrating her birthday so far away from her best friend, I went and found her that bottle of wine and put it in a really nice cooler bag that kind of looked like a purse, a designer purse, and delivered it to her hotel. And the feedback is what I live for. And that feedback is kind of what pushes my drive to provide amazing customer service. Like there's this saying, the worst thing you can give a chef is a compliment, because the only thing we do with that is continue to top it and try to top it every single time we do anything. And I kind of see every single client, every single request as a challenge for me to make myself better, for me to make my skills better, whether I'm baking, decorating, or communicating with somebody. I don't like to have customers that stay customers. I like to develop a relationship and then they become clients. So after a while, we, communicate and we just converse. And then I get to know what days are important to them, what situations and occasions are important to them, and I do what I can to help them celebrate.
Okay, I didn't know that. Thank you. I'll remember that. Next time I order me a sweet potato pie. Okay, I remember. So you custom, all right? Because I might like doves that day. Right. Might be a cloudy day. We gonna see.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I remember that. So what in entrepreneurship is like so hard for you? I mean, you have a lot of great things that makes you stand out, especially within your industry. Like you have amazing customer service. You have strong clientele because you have great pastries. Like they're really good. So what within entrepreneurship, what has been the challenge for you?
I think the biggest challenge in entrepreneurship when you just, jumped off the boat and decided to be an entrepreneur is the lack of a steady paycheck. That income is sporadic, especially with, people's tastes changing, people's wants changing, and you trying to navigate how best to put yourself out there to the people who want what you have. And just being able to keep all of the things that you're responsible for afloat. You don't want to be a proud entrepreneur on your way to, being evicted. And just the uncertainty of where your next money is coming from, and then knowing that you have to pay for whatever help that you've gotten with your business, with your website, with your licensing, because this is Chicago. You have to pay for whatever it is you're doing, whether or not you're getting paid for doing that thing. And I think the other difficulty that I've faced is a lack of a schedule. In the beginning, you are trying to do all the things, like I don't have a partner, I don't have employees, and, being the one-woman show isn't always, it's not glamorous at all, because as a creative, I tend to focus on creativity, and that's baking, decorating, coming up with different flavors, but then I also have to create my own website. I also have to balance my own books. I also have to make sure that my bills are paid, and then I have a home life still. So just as an entrepreneur, there's no certainty except for you understanding that you are passionate enough about what it is you're doing to keep going through all of those things that kind of knock you back, because you have to make yourself see what's on the other side of, the things that you have to do so that you can continue to fully enjoy the things that you want to do, which is why you're in business in the first place.
I definitely understand that. Like entrepreneurship, just owning a business itself, it's a huge risk. Yeah. It's like sometimes you're just excited, you're like, oh, I'm passionate, oh, I'm good at this, oh, I'm knowledgeable, but then you're like, oh, bills.
Exactly.
Double the bills.
Exactly.
So yeah, I definitely, yes. That's a huge challenge. A lot of people it's on our minds, but then it's not at the same time, because we're just so busy being in the moment of trying to get things done to not have to worry about that.
Exactly.
So that makes a lot of sense. And I know, during this time, especially during COVID pandemic, everything has slowed up for everybody as far as customers, getting new customers, returning clients, like everything has just been so up and down. So how have you been like surviving during this pandemic in business?
I have had to learn to pivot. The understanding that what I set out to do and what I want to do with my business, I had to learn to absorb that my ideal client base didn't want what I was already doing. They want what they want because their lives are changing in different ways than my life changed. And then I had to make sure that I was doing what I was doing in as few unnecessary steps as possible. So I sought out mentors. The first mentor that I sought out was, her name is Janelle Copeland. She is she's the founder of the Cake Mamas, and she owned her business, her bakery, for 10 years, and now she and her husband Eddie are business coaches. And I found their program, Passion to Profit, and I went through the steps and I did the work, and a lot of it was what I did not want to do as far as like the business math and the inventory and all of that stuff. But had I not been able to do that, I would have burned myself out of my passion for my business, because I wouldn't have known why it wasn't succeeding. I wouldn't have known why I didn't know what I didn't know. I would have been, upset that nobody reached out to help me, which, who would if I don't know who to ask or know what questions to ask. And just making sure that I was mentally available to learn every single thing I could, so that, as Janelle said, I could work on my business as much as I was working in my business, and knowing the difference and knowing what that ratio has to be, so that I'm not so focused on baking cakes and making things pretty and taste good, but losing money because I don't know how to charge, or I don't know how to budget my time. And, I don't want to have a conversation with a client where they're asking me questions that I can't answer about my business. And I think that confidence that I gained from being part of Passion to Profit is kind of what boosted me into a different level of being a business owner, because you can't be a business owner and you're an unhealthy individual. So I ended up also having to change my life, my eating habits, taking care of myself so that I could have a better mindset when it came to me doing what I needed to do for my business, and understanding the difference between, clients don't like this particular thing and they don't like me as a whole, because it's different. And I think that's how I made it, just understanding that I don't know everything. Somebody who knows everything doesn't learn anything. And I just made it my business to keep lines of communication open between myself and anybody that I could learn something from, so that I could build my business and not become one of those first 5-year statistics.
You said a lot of key things, like especially pivoting. Mm-hmm. Like that has been so vital during this pandemic. I mean, we're still in the pandemic. So, and I mean, we've seen businesses, even some just come and go in this little amount of time, because people had plans to start a business before the pandemic happened. People were in business, and it's like now it's been crazy. It's been super crazy. So, I mean, you definitely bring a great point, but it's amazing that it's been working for you. I'm definitely glad to see that.
I'm trying.
Yeah, I mean, you doing it. You're doing this. You here. Look, I mean, we here. Only way you here is if you're an entrepreneur. So You doing it.
That makes sense.
You are doing it. You are doing it. So, I mean, you have customers that you still been meeting and getting used to your products, turning into clientele. So, clearly, besides the sweet potato pie, you got some good things happening. So, I mean, is it possible? I think this is a good time, we can get an ingredient into something.
I think I can make that work.
For real?
Yes.
I'm excited. So we got some new stuff. We got sweet potato pie. We
don't have the sweet potato pie today, but I did bring a couple of things that aren't on my menu yet.
Oh, so we got new stuff today.
Yes. The Q Missy Ellen exclusive.
Yes,
so
nice.
That's how we rolling today.
That's what we love. That's what we love here. So y'all seen it here first. Y'all heard it here first. The new stuff. So let's get into it. Oh, you brought the goodies out. You changed your jacket. Y'all, it got real in here.
Full production mode.
Yes, I see. So what all do we have here?
So what I brought today is a little bit of what I'm going to be adding to my fall menu. Cake jars and mini loaf pound cakes. So I'm going to show how I assemble my cake jars with my oh my god chocolate cake and the oh my god chocolate frosting, buttercream frosting, and then my red velvet swirl cake and the cream cheese frosting, and show how that gets layered in here so that you can see the differentiation of the cake and the frosting, and then top the carrot cake with a little bit of cream cheese frosting and some carrot motif with the leaves, make it a little season appropriate.
Okay.
So the first thing I'm gonna do, my hands are washed. The first thing I'm gonna do is the chocolate cake jar. So a little bit of cake to cover the bottom, and a little bit of blackout frosting.
That is dark.
And just so it doesn't scare the people who aren't absolutely addicted to chocolate, it's a little bit of buttercream around the edges. And then a little more cake. And then this way you can see the layers. And the rows of frosting. And that is the chocolate cake jar.
That is nice.
And then
I just like how it looks.
we have
so petite and pretty.
Yes. We have the red velvet swirl cake, and I'll do that the same way. Just enough to cover the bottom, and cream cheese frosting.
And you make the frosting.
I make the buttercream frostings. Depending on what the client prefers, the frosting is either buttercream, cream cheese, or I really like making Swiss meringue buttercream because it holds up better in warmer weather because it's a little more stable.
Okay.
Just a little bit of decoration. And because we're in the fall, a couple of red maple leaves to go with the fork isn't working.
That's cute. Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so that's the red velvet swirl cake jar. And for the carrot cake, so this is the cream cheese, and we'll just do a little bit of zigzagging. Maybe a couple of carrots.
Yeah, it take patience. Me all the way. It's all going to the same place.
See, as a pastry chef, if I could get away with just doing this all day and say I'm handling my business, then I absolutely would. And then a couple of maple leaves and acorns for the carrot cake.
Yeah, I like how it's like popping.
Yeah.
Like when you take a look at it, yeah.
Maybe a few red ones. And this is one of the reasons it takes forever, for me at least, to make a cake, because once I turn on creative mode, it's like, oh, okay, I can add some of this, and I can do a couple of these, and I'm sure they would like a little bit of that, and it becomes never ending.
See, like that, I wouldn't even want to eat it, because like just looking at it and how it's decorated, it's like, no, you're just supposed to. It's just decoration. You're just supposed to sit on the stand and it just
no. You're supposed to look at it. Oh my God, this is so gorgeous, and then eat it, because these are the perfect portion sizes for a slice of cake, especially if you're trying to stick to a diet or if you're just trying to eat a little more healthy and you don't want to completely cut out anything. You don't want to have like a cheat day, because even if you're on a keto diet, it incorporates dessert. And this is an appropriate serving size for you for a day. Like, you don't have to, nobody has dessert every day, not even me. As much as I want to, it's just, I couldn't do it. But this is perfect for, this is enough sugar to last the average person who is consciously eating 2 or 3 days, That's
good. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then even with everything that's on the carrot cake, there's so much healthy stuff in the carrot cake, because there's carrots, but then there's also, unless there's a nut allergy, there's walnuts, and they've been candied, cooked in a sugar syrup, and there's also roasted pineapple in the carrot cake, and everything is as organic as I can get. Organically raised eggs, non-RGBH milk, but even the flour. Everything comes from a source that can say, I did this. If you have a problem, talk to me. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of, I shop with those people because that's the type of person I am. If you have a problem with something that I've done, You don't have to go through a whole bunch of different channels. Come to me. So I source my ingredients from people who have that same business acumen.
That's awesome. So, I mean, that right there would tell you this is unique. Like, literally just that. I mean, honestly, carrot cake, because I feel like carrot cake is like a fruit cake junior. You know, like, it's like,
carrot cake is like a fruit and vegetable cake.
Yeah, it's like, you know, everybody, like, fruit cake, everybody pass it along. Carrot cake is kind of like that, too. But now, with what you just said, especially with the pineapple touch, it's like, how does that come out? So, I mean, that's really good to know, like, that you research, you know, and you're that detailed. It's just not, okay, it's a carrot cake, I'm gonna Google the recipe and this is what it's gonna be like. No, that's highly detailed. Yeah. So we know, just based on what she said, we already know. We know it's not gonna taste like whatever restaurant you got your last dessert from or whatever bakery. Like, we know this is unique. That is amazing. So with everything, with all uniqueness that you have, clearly you're not going anywhere. So what are your plans coming up, like, for the rest of this year, for next year, 5, 10 years? Because I know you got a plan. I mean, this is amazing.
Yeah. Well, actually, my immediate plans include being able to ship. I want to be able to formulate my recipes and the methodologies so that they can be shipped and not be damaged or lose any kind of quality in transit. And so I'm just researching the best way to go about doing that now. And then in the future, I would really like to be able to host workshops so that people can learn, like, in real life and in real time, how they can enjoy desserts and still maintain a conscious eating lifestyle. Because, you know, a lot of people get scared away when you mention the word healthy, because that means a lot of people think they have to get rid of a lot of things from their diet. And most of the time, that's not true. It's just how much water you're drinking in comparison to how much you're consuming of the things that you feel are indulgent enough for you to think you have to get rid of. So being able to teach people how to eat with a little bit more of a whole body health focus is one of my long-term goals.
Workshops, yes. No, I'm going to be the first one to sign up, because as you all can see and hear, she has a lot of knowledge in the kitchen. So it's definitely needed, like you said, especially with a lot of people just having these no's when it comes to eating and just thinking that, I have to change my life to do. And you don't. You really don't. It's a lot of balance, and it's just the education behind what you consume that a lot of people just overlook. So yes, no, I will be in your class.
It becomes damaging because people think, you know, that's kind of one of the things that leads to overeating, eating disorders, you know, eating in secret, guilt eating, you know. And I would really love to be able to help people get rid of that entire mindset that makes you feel like you have to go and hide to have a piece of cake.
Yes. So with that being said, you know, like we said earlier, we're still going through the pandemic, but we here, we're breathing, we're alive. We have goals. You know, we have goals. So there are plenty of people who want to be you. They want to have a business like you. They want to have a baking business, a pastry business like you. So for those who are, like, nervous and feel like it's not going to work, or just like all the no's that's kind of coming in their head, or just the negativity, what advice would you give them?
I actually think if someone is afraid to start their business, that's a really good indicator of the possibility that you are on the right track, because you should be afraid to do something you've never done before. You should have a little bit of a driving force behind you, even if you don't have another voice telling you, good job, go ahead, I got your back, I'll support you, because a lot of times that's not going to come. So you have to be a self-motivator. You have to make sure that your fear doesn't paralyze you, you should be afraid to stay where you are when you have an amazing idea to put forth to the public. Every single person is born with some kind of gift, and every single gift has some type of monetization attached to it. Another mentor that I have, her name is Amanda Schoenberg, and she says, God does not give you a gift that you cannot make money off of. So if you are afraid, let that fear be your main motivator, and then get you a mentor. You cannot, big or small, good or bad, you cannot do it all by yourself and expect it to be exactly what you want it to be. Somebody has been where you're trying to go. Somebody has surpassed where you're trying to go. Somebody has pivoted from where you're trying to go, and you don't know what you're in for. So it would behoove you to have a conversation with someone who is able to say, if you do it this way, this is what's going to happen. But here's an easier way. It's going to save you all of these steps, because why waste time when you don't have to? Because when you're spending time on your dream, you're spending money on your dream. So if someone can save you time, they're also saving you money. And you can put that time and that effort and that money into the things that are proven successes. Every business owner, every entrepreneur should kind of model what they're doing after a business that they admire. Not necessarily copy, but these steps have been paved already. So why not use those steps as a guide rather than just use your pride to say, I'm going to go all the way left just because nobody's been here. I don't want anybody telling me what to do. This is my dream. I'm going to do it by myself. You can, but the person who is willing to learn, the person who is willing to pay for assistance, the person who's willing to get a mentor is going to get where they want to go a little bit quicker with maybe a few less gray hairs and less stress than the person who's deciding to go it alone just because, it's a pride issue. Pride has its place, but not when you're starting out, when you have to tell yourself, I have no idea what I'm doing. And we're all starting from there at some point. We don't know everything. And your business is not going to be perfect when you first put it out. You have to be willing to fail because you don't learn from your success. When you fail, you get to stand up and look at that and be able to say, I did this. This didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, but while I was picking myself up from this mess, I found this. So next time I'll do this. So you cannot be afraid to fail. You cannot be afraid to be afraid. You cannot be too prideful to ask for help.
That's really great advice. Get you a mentor, don't live in fear. I mean, whether you are looking to be in your field as a pastry chef or just whatever you want to do as far as an entrepreneur, those are two great things. I feel like key assets to have when you are on that journey of being an entrepreneur. You need it and forever, not just when you start, not the first 5, 10, 15 years, literally it's lifelong that you need those kind of resources to be able to continue to grow and build on your business. So that's really great advice. So if you haven't already, definitely write that down. But this all smells really good. So we about to wrap up because I'm ready to eat. I'm ready for dessert. Y'all probably seen me a couple times eyeing it. I'm ready. I'm so ready. So I just want to say thank you so much.
Absolutely.
For this, first and foremost. This exclusive. Because, yes, this looks really pretty. So thank you. And just the time. You definitely gave us a lot of information today. It's really great. Even for how long we've known each other. I learned some new things. Like I said, I'm gonna get my dove and my sweet potato pie. I'm excited. I'm so excited. But where can everyone find you? I mean, I know we got a lot of things coming up. Like Yolanda and I work together on different things. We can't tell you everything. You just gotta stay tuned with us. So how can they find you so they can see where you're gonna be all around Chicago?
Absolutely. Well, first, my socials on Facebook, I'm Miss Landa Cakes. On Instagram, Miss_Landa_Cakes. I have a monthly blog on WordPress as Chef Yo, and the name of it is Come Sit By Me. And I'm still figuring out TikTok, so we're not going to talk about that yet. My website for your ordering, you can get to know more about your friendly neighborhood pastry chef, is www.MissLandaCakesLLC.com. And you can go there and order whatever you like, 24 hours a day. You can add yourself to the email list by completing a contact form. And then that way you are like the first to know of whatever is going on with Miss Landa Cakes, coupons, discounts. I'm thinking about some Black Friday stuff. I just want to make sure that I appreciate you for trusting me with helping you with your celebrations in the form of dessert.
Yes, and as always, you all know everyone that I interview. Where can they be found? BP Ensemble, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, all platforms BP Ensemble, or even more information about them on our website, because we always switch out the business owners that we interview. We always have them at www.bpensemble.net. Thank you for watching. Make sure you stay tuned with Miss Landa Cakes. She told you all the great stuff she has going on, so you don't want to miss it. She's going to be all around Chicago from now, next month, and on down with workshops, with her great desserts, with her seasonal menu, so you do not want to miss out. So make sure you stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and you have time to support Miss Landa Cakes.